Hello, good day everyone. Today we're going to discuss identifying the inquiry and stating the problem. Based on your personal observation in your own community, what are some existing problems that invite you to conduct a thorough investigation which needs solution? This question will be answered after we would be able to discuss the topics which covers in identifying the inquiry and stating the problem. Now, there are three topics that we are going to discuss. Number one, design a research used in daily life. Number two, writing a research title. And number three, describe background of research. Now, what is background of research? In other words, it is known as background of your study. What is a research design? Research design establishes the decision-making processes, conceptual structure of investigation, and methods of analysis used to address the central research problem of your study. Now, there are purposes of establishing a research design. It helps to organize your thoughts. It sets the boundaries of your study. Maximize the reliability of your findings and avoid misleading or incomplete conclusions. There are also common problems to avoid when designing a research study. Number one, lack of specificity, which means you have to avoid overly broad generalities. Avoid using vague qualifiers like extremely, very, entirely, completely, and etc. Express the process of investigation in clear and concise terms. This means that you have to be very specific in making your research design. This reminds us also that you have to give a lot of information clearly and brief but comprehensive. Next, number two, poorly defined research problem. Formulate a problem statement. It is worthwhile to note that the problem statement is the heart of your research paper, so you must have to make it clearly and define it clearly. Begin the process of developing questions that address the problem. In writing your statement of the problem, you have to target the main idea of your research problem in order for you to achieve the desired result of your study. Number 3. Lack of theoretical framework. The theoretical framework is a conceptual foundation of your study. Research design should include an explicit set of logically derived hypotheses, basic postulates, or assumptions. According to Grant and Osanloo 2014, theoretical framework is one of the most important aspects in the research process. It is the explanation of previous proven studies and how they may apply to your new study. Number 4. Significance of your study. Research design must include a clear answer to the so what question. Articulate clearly why your study is important and it contributes to the larger body of literature about the topic being investigated. Number 5. Relationship between past research and your study. Your literature review should include an explicit statement linking the result of prior research to the research you are about to undertake. Identify basic weaknesses in previous studies and how your study helps to fill this gap in knowledge. Number 6. Contribution to the field. Be clear in describing how your study contributes to or possibly challenges existing assumptions or findings. According to the statements of Paul Dirac, the measure of greatness in a scientific idea is the extent to which it stimulates thought and opens up new lines of research. Number 7. Objectives, hypotheses, or questions. Objectives should be clearly articulated and closely tied to the overall aims of your paper. Number 8. Poor methodological approach. Design must include a well-developed and transparent plan for how you intend to collect or generate data and how it will be analyzed. Ensure that the method used to gather information for analysis is aligned with the topic of inquiry. Number 9. Proximity sampling. Proximity sampling refers to using a sample which is based not upon the purposes of your study, but rather it is based upon the proximity of a particular group subjects. Number 10. Techniques or instruments. Be clear in describing the techniques used to gather. Number 11. Statistical treatment. In quantitative studies, you must give a complete description of how you will organize the raw data for analysis. That is why you need a statistician to compute the result of your gathered information. In most cases, the data is described through the measures of central tendencies like mean, median, and mode that help the researcher explain how the data are concentrated. Number 12. Vocabulary. Avoid overuse of technical or pseudo-technical terminology. This means that you avoid using redundant words in writing. For example, in paraphrasing statements from other sources in your RRL, it is very necessary for you to use varied synonymous words or phrases like according to, especially if you are going to formulate your review of related literature. And in analyzing your data gathered. Number 13. Limitations of the study. Or in other parts of the research, it is known as the scope and the limitations of the study. Your research design should anticipate and explain the reasons why these limitations exist. Include a statement concerning what impact these limitations may have on the validity of your results. Now, let's come to how to write a good research paper title. There are three major functions of research paper title. Number 1, your research paper title should intrigue readers. It should sound interesting, and it should reflect the main content idea with the help of keywords. There are tips on how to choose a brilliant research paper title. Number 1, create a brief but informative name which would help the reader have a clear picture of what your work is all about. Number 2, make your heading eye-catching with the help of effective hooks, or in journalism it is known as lead sentence. Number 3, ensure that the number of words doesn't exceed 20 maximum. Remember, ensure that the number of words doesn't exceed 20 maximum. Number 4, make it narrow, specifying your target audience. Number 5, give preference to active verbs rather than the number of nouns. Number 6, think which keywords to include in your research title. There are examples of good research paper titles. I have presented here only 2. Number 1, effective techniques on how to make people do what you want. Number 2, effects of mobile phone as a learning tool on the academic performance of grade 12 students. So these are just examples of a good research paper titles. Now you can make also your own, searching from the web or other sources. And you have to make it into your own choice of words, or state it in your own choice of words according to the samples that I have given to you a while ago. What to write in the background of research? Now, let's go to the writing of the background of your research study. These are the components of background of the research studies which you need to remember when you are going to start writing your background of the study. Number 1, introductory thesis statement. Number 2, research question. Number 3, hypothesis. Number 4, statement of the problem. Statement of relevant studies. Number 5, specific aims and research objectives. Now, your research objective should be patterned from your problem questions. Number 6, summary of current research. Number 7, history of past research. Number 8, noting problems with previous studies. Number 9, key issues and significance of the research. And number 10, conclusive statement. So you have to end up your research, your background of your research study with a conclusive statement. So these are all the components of writing background of your study. As you go along with our discussion today, what are some skills that a good researcher must need to develop? Why? You may choose from the pictures which are found in the next slide and discuss in 2 to 3 sentences. So these are the pictures which you are going to choose for your explanation on the question that I have given to you a while ago. So if you choose this one, explain in 2 to 3 sentences. What does it mean to you? And if you choose this one also, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, analyzing information, and problem solving, you just pick one of these words or phrases and explain in 2 to 3 sentences also. So with this picture, what are some existing problems in your daily life that invites you to conduct a thorough investigation which needs solution in your own community? If you can still remember, this is the question that I have given to you at the very start of our discussion today in these slides. So, my question again, what are some existing problems in your daily life that invites you to conduct a thorough investigation which needs solution in your own community? This means that you have to start making up your title of your research study basing on the question that I have given to you today. So these are some of the common problems in our community which you might choose in formulating your title. Be sure that you have chosen the right title which really catch your interest and the interest of your readers as well. These are just examples of community problems. As I've said in our discussion, in choosing your title, you must be specific. God bless us always.